It's the latest twist in the murder mystery saga that captivated the country for over a year. Karen Reed back in court 4 months after her trial ended with a hung jury. She's accused of hitting her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, with her SUV and leaving him to die in the snow.
I suggest we've more than met the burden of production of proof.
This week, her defense team arguing in front of the Massachusetts Supreme Court that 2 of the 3 charges she's facing be dropped due to double jeopardy. Also arguing that the court should allow jurors to be questioned about the verdict.
We now know, based on the representations of 4 jurors, indirectly a 5th, that the prior jury reached a unanimous decision to acquit Ms. Reed of 2 of the 3 charges.
The defense is arguing that after that verdict was rendered, multiple, to the tune of 5 jurors supposedly reached out to the defense in one way, shape, or form, saying that was not our verdict. We were conclusive as to 2 of the 3 charges.
But prosecutors arguing there was no indication during the trial that the jurors had come to any agreement.
They've returned 3 times indicating that they are deadlocked, they are at an impasse, and they do not want to continue to deliberate.
Prosecutors also saying that the judge used her discretion to not further question the jury about each individual count.
Free Karen Reed!
The high-profile murder case consuming and dividing the community.
Justice for JJ!
Captivating true crime fans and sending many on social media into a frenzy.
Is she being framed in an elaborate cover-up involving corrupt cops, or did she back up into her boyfriend and leave him for dead?
Free Karen Reed!
At times, Karen Reed supporters swarming the courthouse.
When it comes to the case of Karen Reed, it has everything you want of a true crime story. It's got love and murder. It's got a potential cover-up. It's got forensic scientists arguing things that could or could not happen. And it leaves everyone in 2 separate equal camps of Karen Reed is innocent or Karen Reed is guilty.
It all started on a Friday night in January 2022. Reed and O'Keefe drinking with their friends at a local bar. Later that night, Reed says that she last saw John after dropping him off at an after party at a fellow Boston police officer's home. She says she awoke in the middle of the night and he wasn't home.
I called a few of his buddies, their wives.
No one had seen him, so she goes to look for him in the car.
Now I have an immense sense of dread, like a fright in me that I have not experienced before.
Do you expect to see him like lying on the street drunk?
Yeah.
Or passed out?
I was worried he might have gotten hit by a plow.
Reed meets up with some of John's friends and they all return to the house where the after party was, and then she spots him in the snow.
His eyes were shut and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face, and he was still, not stiff, but still.
John O'Keefe is soon declared dead, but the investigation is about to explode. Investigators finding pieces of a taillight they say are from Reed's car at the crime scene, alleging they broke off after she hit him with the car.
I was talking to my best friend on the phone, and I said, there's a lot of cops circling, and I said, I think I'm gonna get arrested.
Reed was later charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene, and pleaded not guilty.
Would you say that you were angry with John that night?
Yes.
Could you have been angry enough and slightly drunk because he had annoyed you that in the fit of rage you just backed up and
Never.
tried to tap him?
I would never.
Not to try to kill him, but try to
tap him with my 6,000-pound full-size SUV. To hit John's body with my car, no.
ABC News capturing behind-the-scenes footage as Reed prepared for her trial.
Hiding out like this, you just watch the world pass you by, and you're going through the motions, pun intended, and but you know it could all end. I could be convicted.
In the months leading up to the trial, Reed's defense team arguing in hearings and filings a stunning new theory. That the injuries on O'Keefe's body were not consistent with him being hit by a car. They claimed she was framed.
There are people in that house that are actually responsible for his death and who murdered him. And there are others in the house who are covering up that murder.
The prosecution insisting that no one at the party had anything to do with O'Keefe's death, and they denied that Reed was being framed. The homeowner testified in the trial, contradicting Reed's account.
And at no point in time over the course of that evening or the early morning there did John O'Keefe or Karen Reed physically come into your house.
John O'Keefe and Karen Reed never entered my house.
The defense questioning the lead investigator, State Trooper Michael Proctor, on the stand in an attempt to discredit the investigation, asking him to read aloud derogatory texts he sent about Reed.
If you could just read the responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. She's a whack job. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
What, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding this?
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of this investigation.
After the trial, Proctor was suspended without pay. The Massachusetts State Police said there's an internal investigation into his conduct. After 5 days of jury deliberations, no verdict.
I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
Family and friends remembering John, the son who always dreamed of being a police officer.
He was lost in this whole circus, and I think none of us want him to be lost. So I think we were all waiting for it to be finally over so we can finally grieve.
I mean, that could be another 18 months.
It could be another 5 years.
And we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The state Supreme Court has not made a decision regarding Karen Reed's request to dismiss the 2 charges. She is scheduled to be retried next year.